All right, so let's kick off. Arnaud, thank you for being here with us. Can we please get your name and organization before we start?
Hello, Arnaud. So I'm Arnaud Namer. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of ATOBA Energy, and happy to be here and have these discussions.
Excellent. So let's just to get us kicked off and warm up a bit. What excites you more when you think about aviation, reaching net zero, the solutions we have on hand? What do you get really excited about?
So I get really excited because there's actually 75% or 70% of the decarbonization of aviation is going to come through SAF.
Yeah.
And what excites me is all of the innovation that's available in SAF. You have a huge amount of technologies, feedstocks. We're seeing more and more combinations of technologies in order to decrease the cost. We're seeing hybrid projects that are doing both biosaf, advanced biosaf, and PTL. We're seeing crossover in terms of technologies. And all of that is very exciting because we don't know, what's going to win at the end. There's a lot of different options and the innovation speed in both technologies, but also like how to finance these technologies, how to scale the industry. All of that are huge challenges, but like with a significant opportunity to actually reach the goal.
So you're talking about scaling up. You mentioned cost. You mentioned diversifying feedstocks. Your company is focused at solving a very specific problem. Can you explain to us what that problem is in very simple terms so that anyone out there can understand what problem you're exactly trying to solve?
Yeah, no problem. So producers, they need to build billion-dollar factories in order to produce these sustainable aviation fuel.
Yeah.
To build these production facilities, they need financing. And to have financing, the financial institutions need a stable return on investment over roughly a 10-year period.
Okay.
In order to get that, the producers need long-term offtake contracts at relatively stable pricing.
Yeah.
And so that's what
from the airlines.
Well, from somebody.
From somebody.
From somebody.
Yeah.
The airlines on the other side, they're seeing, well, the SAF market is a nascent market, new technologies, a beginning of the scaling process. So the cost of production is going to go down over time. So if you put yourself in their shoes, why would I, as an airline, do a long-term offtake contract with one producer with one technology at a stable price when I know that the cost of production of new technologies and the scaling is going to decrease over time?
Yeah.
So long-term offtakes are not happening because of that financial dilemma. And therefore, new production facilities are not getting financed, and therefore the SAF industry is not scaling.
Yeah.
So the way we solve that is by creating aggregation, SAF aggregation, and creating a portfolio of producers, of long-term offtake with producers.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to, when you create that portfolio, you actually mimic the evolution of the market of SAF production over time, which means that our portfolio is going to dynamically evolve to represent the decrease of cost of production over time. Okay. Which means that we can have long-term contracts with the producers that are bankable, and we can have long-term contracts with the airlines that are guaranteed competitive because they're index-based, and that index is the evolution of the cost of production over time. So the airline doesn't have the risk of going to a long-term offtake with one producer that's going to be non-competitive over time because it's index-based, thanks to our portfolio management. And so that's how we solve that.
And tell me, how are the producers? So the producers seem, well, I can see the connection with both, right? But on the producers first, the producers seem to be really struggling to get that finance, to get those plans going. Now you speak to them and you tell them, okay, I have this great idea. How are they reacting to this? Is this something that rings their bells and they're like, okay, this is great? Are they seeing difficulties? What's the reaction you're getting from them?
They love it because they're finding a way out. They've been struggling with these long-term offtakes, hitting the wall with two kind of actors, hitting the wall with airlines because of what I just mentioned, and hitting the wall with major oil and gas, who today don't want to take the risk, don't want to invest in these new SAF technologies. Yeah. So they're kind of stuck today without a solution. And so we're bringing a solution that enables to create long-term offtakes with them. Yeah. And so they love that. And therefore we have discussions with, there's 250 projects roughly across the world that are looking for commercial scale production plants. And so we're technology agnostic. So we talk with all of the producers, all of different technologies, and really enable them to reach the next level.
And tell me a little bit about the airline's perspective. So again, the airlines are also struggling to get these offtake agreements. They're talking to many different producers. I suppose they're getting different prices. So is this helping the airlines as well to try to get some more consistent pricing and a little bit more certainty?
Yeah, what the airlines are used to is index-based sourcing of jet fuel.
Yeah.
And if it's index-based, and that's what we offer to them, if it's index-based, they know it's competitive. And what is most important for the airlines is a level playing field. They don't want to take a significant amount of risk to go for one technology, one feedstock, etc. They want to guarantee to have a level playing field, so they're not paying their SAF more expensive than the airlines they're competing with, because they have low margins and they don't have the luxury to take that risk. So they see that as a great hedging tool in order to enable competitive pricing over time.
And just this is my final technical question, but just before we start this interview, you mentioned about the need to decouple the cost of SAF from jet fuel. And, can you talk a little bit more to that?
Yeah, so today, the mechanism that is applicable today is a lot of the airline purchase the SAF on a premium to the jet fuel, which means that today, like with the crisis that happened in Iran, the cost of SAF significantly, or the pricing that the airlines were paying of SAF significantly increased. Where actually, if you look at the cost of production of SAF, it's
the same.
complete stable. The cost of the feedstock today is mainly used cooking oil and animal fats, and the cost is stable for the past year. And despite that stability, because of the pricing mechanism that has been put in place, the cost of SAF significantly increased. And so we got to get rid of that historical way of pricing SAF in order for airlines to diversify their source of fuel, to have more hedging capabilities, and to really lower also the cost of SAF, because linking it to jet fuel with these spikes is increasing artificially the price.
That's excellent. And last question. I have two more questions actually. One is, if you had a wish list for ICAO, what would you ask ICAO to do? How can ICAO help?
So I think ICAO plays a great role in terms of global frameworks, in terms of putting in place the infrastructure. I think there's a lot of commonalities, and I love the synergies that are happening between ICAO and IMO on the maritime side.
Right.
And we're seeing that on the maritime side, they're implementing a very, simple mechanism, which is to price the carbon, and all of the funds that are collected from this pricing of carbon are re-injected directly into decarbonized maritime fuel. And I think that circularity of the funds, that SAF funds, or decarbonization fund SAF in the aviation, is really a key sector. So moving from offsetting, which has been a great first step, to insetting, which means really using sustainable aviation fuel to decarbonize and to use the funds for that.
Perfect. And finally, any words about the ICAO Climate Week? What are your impressions?
Our impressions, so you have a great organization, number of actors. The breadth of the people that come to these events is incredible, and you're seeing more and more different parts of the value chain that are joining. So more and more you're seeing today the financial institution, the development banks, the export credit agencies, and that's what makes these events really valuable, because you're stitching together the entire value chain in order to provide the global view. So really appreciate the ICAO.
Excellent. We're happy that you could make the trip all the way here, and thank you for being with us and for the panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.